Fire to all! We continue our series of videos about diseases and vices. Our today's subject is rather difficult and rather sad for some people whose lives have been touched by it: drug addiction. It is a kind of a trend of our time, connected not even with diseases, but with obsession. And it is obvious for what purposes this whole huge drug-dealing industry was created.
Очень понятно, конечно, для каких целей, собственно говоря, была создана вся эта огромная индустрия по производству наркотиков.
It is all about making fear generators out of fire generators. And we are going to discuss further these three global issues: drug addiction, alcoholism, and smoking.
Безусловно, такие вот три таких очень глобальных темы, это как наркомания, алкоголизм и курение. Мы сейчас как раз-таки будем разбирать.
In our next videos, we will talk about alcoholism and smoking. And now we'll talk about drug addiction. In fact, I think there is nothing that would be stronger.
Наверное, не существует более сильного.
Well, maybe demons connected with mental disorders have such power as well. We are going to talk about them in further videos.
Психическими расстройствами. Мы, кстати, о них будем говорить в следующих видео, которые будут у нас.
So, drug addiction is a very strong demonic manifestation of the essences, of very powerful essences, and it is very hard to cope with them. It is when a person practically loses self-control. People with mental disorders are placed in special clinics because they can harm not only themselves, but others as well. Drug addicts are such people with serious mental disorders too. And the state which they are in, this haze that covers them, makes them fall into some different worlds, different reality. They see everything in bright colors and so on, and they get addicted to it. And it is demons that help them get to these worlds with the help of drugs. Because you cannot just get into these delusional worlds yourself and feel these strong emotions from drugs. Because it is negative coordinate system. It is an artificially created immersion into these delusional worlds. Because if you develop in positive coordinate system, you can see the spiritual world without psychoactive drugs. You don't need anything. It is just an absolutely different level of consciousness, of mindfulness. I always say that according to the principle of freedom of will, we can never put anybody on the list for fire distribution just like that, if they are in their right mind. Only those who are in a coma or in other difficult situations, like mental disorders, for instance. Other people should give their consent for that. You shouldn't do anything without it. And drug addiction is a kind of mental disorder. If you know somebody who is a drug addict, a friend, a relative, just somebody you know, any person that uses psychotropic substances, you can put them on the list for fire energy distribution, not asking for their permission, because the essence that possesses them has possessed their mind as well, and this person has become unbalanced mentally.
которая овладевает этим человеком, она настолько овладела сознанием и разумом, что человек становится неадекватным.
So you have the right to put +1 for this drug addict person. But you should keep in mind that drug addicts have very strong and powerful essences. They are much like the essences that make people ill mentally.
У именно наркоманов очень сильные сущности, очень сильные. И они сродни именно с сущностями, которые вызывают именно психические заболевания у людей.
That make people's nervous system and memory malfunction, that evoke schizophrenia and so on. So you need to understand that it is a great responsibility. And if you really want to help somebody get out of this addiction, to get rid of this demon of drugs that possesses this person totally, so that he or she cannot make their own decisions, then you will have to work rather hard to solve this problem. In videos from 17 to 23, if I'm not mistaken, there is a method connected with fire energy receiving, and the most important practices, like the expansion of the list of the deceased, phantom hugs, and also phantom hugs triangle in 34th video. This is what you will need to use, because it is the third person, and you will need to work with karma constituent and with the essences. Once again, you will need to determine the number of the essences. If you receive fire energy, then during fire energy distribution, you can ask a question and hear the number of the essences that this drug addict has, and put them on the list of those receiving fire energy. And you can add them to your so-called play school of essences. Why do we call it a play school? Because the essences need to be brought up in you as we transform them. We transform everything from negative coordinate system into positive. And it doesn't really matter for us what to work with, because the essences that are in negative coordinate system have never seen the light in such huge amount. And they don't quite understand it. I mean fire energy, any psychic energy that we emit, any emotion, they feed on it. And while we are transforming them in this play school group of essences, we feed them, we pour our anahata, we talk to them from our hearts, we invite angels to deliver additional sermons to these essences. By the way, we are going to talk about sermons and angels further in next videos. But on the whole, you should understand clearly that you should focus on this person and on the work with his or her karma constituent. Because a person gets the essence that can possess him or her in case of heavy karma baggage. You shouldn't judge or criticize this person. You should just accept the situation this person is in and try to help him or her with your open heart and open anahata. And in some time, you will see very bright positive results. Because any addiction, whether it is drug addiction, alcoholism, smoking, and so on, will be eliminated for sure.
алкоголизм, курение, неважно в чем она проявляется, она обязательно будет
Because it is something that can undergo transformation. When you transform your demon, the demon of drug addiction in this very case, the demon that brings the person to this delusionary world,
формирует своего демона, демона именно наркомании, дурмана вот этого, да, иллюзорного мира, который вызывает этот...
After the transformation, this person will be able to settle things with this essence without any serious cold turkey. He or she will be able to transform it completely and communicate with it, not as with some negative thing, but as with a very positive spiritual creature, an angel. So I am asking you to take this serious, because drug addiction is almost just like mental disorders, about which we are going to talk later.
Наркомания, повторюсь, она идет практически вровень с психическими заболеваниями, о которых мы будем говорить.
And it is very hard to work with such people who are possessed by such essences. And they need your help a lot. So if you want to help them, you are able to do it. This is what I wanted to talk to you about today. Fire to all,